I would be thankful if you subscribe, preferably to my channel. Not only do you make my day, but you also know when the next video arrives, so you can have another cozy moment very soon. Silent Hill. It's more than just a nightmarish landscape of fog, of monsters and psychological torment. It is a game filled with cryptic messages that go beyond mere scares. The developers of Silent Hill designed the town to be an immersive and symbolic world. It's filled with meanings layered into the environment, into the dialogue, and even the subtle details that most players miss, at least on their first playthrough. These messages are often tied to the psychology of the character, their inner struggles, and the dark history of the town itself. In this video, we are going to explore some of the hidden messages that you can find in Silent Hill and what they reveal about the town's secrets. Whether you are a longtime fan or a newcomer to this series or my videos, then these hidden gems will make you think twice about every corner, every scribble, and every haunting whisper. The town itself is a message. In Silent Hill, the town is not just a backdrop to the horror that it communicates. The fog that cloaks everything isn't just a visual choice. It's a symbol of obscure truth. Players are constantly disoriented, unable to see too far ahead, and this mirrors the way the town hides its secrets. From everyone who visits, that is. The deeper you go into the town, the more its horrific truths are revealed. Much like peeling back the layers of one's own subconscious. In early times, they kinda needed to use the fog to keep the details as high as possible, because it would be a struggle for the CPU to render too much. But that is not making the fog less important. Did you know that the Silent Hill buildings and streets often bear names of philosophers and authors and occult figures, hinting at the influences behind the town's mysteries? For example, Backman Road and Coon Street are named after horror writers, the Stephen King and Dean Koontz. This is signaling the game's connection to literary horror. We also have notes and scribbles on the walls all over the game. And as you explore Silent Hill, you will notice strange messages written on these walls. Also written on scraps of paper that's left behind in forgotten places. These, of course, aren't just random scribbles. Many of them carry dark and cryptic meanings, so you know that I love this, given I always have deep, obscure and hidden messages in my own videos. One of the most famous examples comes from Silent Hill 2, where a message scrawled on a wall say, "There was a hole here. It's gone now." This simple, seemingly nonsensical sentence becomes eerie when you realize it reflects James Sunderland's mental state. It hints at the gap in his memory and the suppressed knowledge of his own actions. The hole that was once there symbolizes his lost memories, and the town's shifting reality is a manifestation of his inner turmoil. Other hidden messages appear in more literal form. In Silent Hill 3, you will find a bloodied message in a bathroom stall, and that reads, I can't remember why I'm here." Now, it's a brief but chilling reflection on the disorienting nature of the town, where the lines between reality and nightmare blur, and this causing even the players to question what is real. Also, mirrors play a significant role in Silent Hill, often representing self-reflection and the idea of confronting one's darkest secrets. Once again in Silent Hill 3, for instance, there's a particularly unsettling sequence where Heather Mason enters a bathroom and she stares at her reflection in a mirror, and over time, the reflection becomes corrupted. With blood spreading across the walls and floor, mirroring the slow unraveling of Heather's reality. This is a symbol of her inner conflict and the contamination of her soul as she delves deeper into the town's mysteries. Mirrors like that in Silent Hill often act as portals between worlds, both literal and metaphorical. They force the players and the protagonist to confront the twisted nature of their reality and the dark truth hidden beneath the surface. You might have noticed the Silent Hill games are littered with religious iconography, and much of it is tied to the Order, the cult that worship the demonic deity that supposedly governs Silent Hill. While many players recognize these symbols at face value, there are hidden depths to their significance. The halo of the sun. It's a recurring symbol in the series, and it's tied to the occult and spiritual theme of the game. It often appears during moments where reality is altered, or when characters are pulled deeper into the town's dark alternate dimension. The symbol is thought to represent the cyclical nature of life and death, as well as the time's ability to trap its victim in an endless cycle of suffering and rebirth. In Silent Hill 4: The Room, the religious elements become even more blatant as the game's antagonist, Walter Sullivan, performs a series of ritualistic murders in the hope of resurrecting his mother, who he believes is the room itself. His disturbing faith in the Order and the obsession with the occult are reflected of how religion in Silent Hill is twisted and perverted into a tool for violence and suffering. One of the most iconic items in Silent Hill, as you probably agree, is the radio, which crackles with static whenever monsters are near. At first glance, it's just a gameplay mechanic to warn players of impending danger, but the radio has deeper implications. It's as if the town itself is speaking to you. It's guiding you, or perhaps manipulating you, and everything with a crackle of static. In later games, particularly Silent Hill Shattered Memories, the radio becomes even more significant. In this reimagining of the original game, the radio doesn't just signal danger, it plays a haunting broadcast. including eerie voices that seem to come from other character or even the player's own subconscious.
Healing through music. You're listening to Alchemilla Radio. It's kind of quiet tonight.
These broadcasts blur the line between reality and hallucination, leaving the player to question if the voices they're hearing are real or just manifestations of their own psyche. There's also books and literature in Silent Hill. If you search every nook and cranny of Silent Hill,
oh, forget it. This is way too gross. Who would even think of doing something so disgusting?
you often come across books scattered throughout the environment, and many of these books offer more than just a backstory. They are hidden messages that clue you into the larger narrative of the town. In Silent Hill 3, for example, you can find the book entitled Lost Memories. And that's a book that I need because I honestly forgot my insanely good idea for a thumbnail for this one. So anyway, this book details the origin of the town's cult and of course their belief in the god that they worship. The book talks about how the town was built on ancient cursed land and how the cult believes that suffering and torment are the only ways to achieve true enlightenment. This idea is reflected in the very fabric of the town, and those who come to Silent Hill are forced to confront their most painful memories as well as regrets, and only through this suffering can they find closure, or more often be consumed by the town's forces. Just like Resident Evil, Silent Hill is famous for its challenging puzzles. Many of these also contains hidden messages, and some of the more complex puzzles requires you to decode text, numbers or symbols that seem nonsensical at first. However, once you solve them, they often reveal a deeper meaning tied to the game's theme of guilt, repression, and self-deception. In Silent Hill 2, there's a puzzle involving a keypad with a number scratched out. You are then required to interpret clues from a series of riddles. Now the solution isn't just about finding out the correct numbers. It's about uncovering James Sunderland's repressed memories. And of course, his guilt over his actions. Now, did you know the town speaks if you listen? For those who take the time to explore and pay attention to the subtle details, then Silent Hill is a town that whispers to you. Every detail, from the graffiti on the wall to the placement of objects, has a meaning. The town itself is alive, constantly shifting and reflecting the inner demons of those who enter its foggy streets. One very unsettling aspect of Silent Hill is how the town knows you. It taps into the fears and desires of the characters and twists them into nightmarish forms. The monsters, the environment, and even the seemingly random details are all an extension of the mind. This is making Silent Hill not just a place of horror, but a place of psychological dissection. I think the hidden messages within Silent Hill are what elevated from a simple horror game, and this actually turns the game into a masterpiece. The developers wove these cryptic details into every aspect of the game, making the experience of playing not just about survival, but about understanding every note, every scribble, and every distorted reflection. Each one is a piece of the puzzle that helps to unravel the dark secrets of both the town and the people who are drawn into it. If you played the game, you know in Silent Hill nothing is accidental, and everything from the smallest clue to the most terrifying creature is tied to the psychological terror that the town inflicts on its victims. If you want to truly understand Silent Hill, you need to listen to what it's telling you, because it's always watching and it knows your deepest fear. If you want more, then just let me know with a like on this video. Also let me know in the comments if you want me to cover something else. And I see you again.